former NASA engineer, has discovered the way to overcome Earth's gravity. According to his claims, Dr. Charles Buhler developed an engine that harnesses a new force outside of our current knowledge of physics to create thrust without propulsion. Dr. Buhler, a NASA engineer and a co-founder of Exodus Propulsion Technologies, revealed that his company's propellantless propulsion drive, which appears to defy the known laws of physics, has produced enough thrust to counteract Earth's gravity. Dr. Buhler, a NASA scientist, worked on safety projects for space missions like Space Shuttle and Mars exploration. Now he's developing a way to clean dust from astronauts and equipment using electricity for NASA's moon mission, but that's not all. He might have discovered a way to make a machine move without fuel, which would change space travel forever. Dr. Buhler's idea is based on new understanding of gravity, which is like a heavy object warping a rubber sheet. He thinks he's found a way to move an object in a straight line on this curved sheet, essentially creating a shortcut through space. And this could revolutionize space travel, making it faster and more efficient. While it sounds like science fiction, Dr. Buhler's work could be the key to unlocking new possibilities for space exploration. And now, to overcome this invisible force, Dr. Buhler and his team claim to have generated 1g, as in Earth's 1g of gravity, of thrust without any propellant. If it's true, it would be revolutionary for humanity and would, of course, unleash a new era of space exploration. In 2001, British electric engineer Roger Sawyer first introduced the impossible drive, known as the M drive. It was called impossible because its creator purported that the drive was reactionless, meaning no propellant required. In other words, it defied the known laws of physics, specifically the conservation of momentum. Scientists were curious but also skeptical. They tested the M drive for 20 years and finally decided it did not work as promised. Dr. Charles Buhler, who worked on a range of programs while at NASA, has since co-founded Exodus Propulsion Technologies, which in 2019 applied for a patent for a system that they claim can generate force using asymmetrical electrostatic pressure. According to the patent, the system generates a voltage difference across the electrically conductive surface. The applied voltage difference creates an electric field resulting in an electrostatic pressure force acting on at least one surface of an object. Asymmetries in the resulting electrostatic pressure force vectors result in a net resulting electrostatic pressure force acting on the object. The patent reads, adding that the invention could be used as a thruster to propel spacecraft. The magnitude of the net resulting electrostatic pressure force is a function of the geometry of the electrically conductive surfaces, the applied voltage, and the dielectric constant of any material present in the gap between the electrodes. And according to Dr. Buhler, whose team has been looking for alternative explanations for the force generated, they were able to create a large enough force for the very small object to overcome Earth's 1g gravity, hence enough thrust to move the object off the ground in Earth's gravity using the method. That may sound like peanuts, but in the near vacuum of space, you do not need a lot of thrust to accelerate, depending of course on the mass of your payload. If you could maintain a constant 1g of acceleration, for example, not only could you enjoy a nice artificial gravity equivalent to that of Earth, but you could reach vast distances within a human lifespan, or at least from the traveler's perspective, but doing so would require an unimaginable amount of force beyond what we're capable of delivering with current propellants. Dr. Buhler claims it would be proven true, were it to be proven true and not the result of another force the team has not accounted for, they would be huge. During tests, the team claims to have found an even more puzzling result. The device was apparently sometimes able to maintain this thrust without a constant electrical input. Dr. Buhler told the debrief that they created a drive powered by a new force, quote unquote, outside our current known laws of physics, giving the propellant less drive, enough boost to overcome gravity. The most important message to convey to the public is that a major discovery occurred, Buller told the debrief. This discovery of a new force is fundamental in that electric fields alone can generate a substantial force onto any object and allow center of mass translation of said object without expelling the mass. He stressed that this work is unaffiliated with NASA and that he recently presented his findings at an Alternative Propulsion Energy Conference, APEC, which is a club of engineers and enthusiasts eager to find ways to overcome the limitations of gravity in physics, and not always with the most scientifically sound methods. Dr. Buller and his team presented their findings at a conference called the Alternative Propulsion Energy Conference, APEC, a meeting of experts and enthusiasts to explore unusual ideas for space travel like anti-gravity. And Buller made it clear that his work is not connected to NASA or the US government. He just wants to share his team's discovery with others who are interested in new ideas for space travel. And he presented his team's research at a conference focused on the experiments from the last decade. He shared details, math, and steps that they took to develop a new type of propulsion drive that does not use fuel. They made big breakthroughs like increasing the force generated from 0.01% of gravity in 2016 to much more in later years. Their goal is to reach unity where the device can lift itself against Earth's gravity. They measure force in small units but aim to exceed 1 gravity of thrust. The team carefully ruled out other explanations for the force they measure, leading to a patented invention in 2020. After employing these new designs, the next series of tests produced even more encouraging results. The team once again confirmed the thrust, but the new approach resulted in an order of magnitude jump to 1/10,000th of a gravity. This was still not enough to leave the planet, but it was enough to know they were on the right track. And as the team neared their goal, they tried new and improved designs, and they keep measuring the thrust and ruled out other explanations for what they were seeing. Then in 2022, something amazing happened. The force generated by their device suddenly increased significantly, and looking at their data, we can see that between early 2022 and November 2023, the force jumped from tiny fractions of gravity to full Earth gravity. This means their small device, about 30 to 40 grams, was producing enough force to lift itself against Earth's gravity, and this is a remarkable achievement. After decades of research, Buller says he and his team had shown unequivocally that a new fundamental force was at work and that his devices were tapping into the force to produce thrust without emitting any mass or propellant. And Buller claims are exciting, but we have not seen similar claims about propellantless drivers before that did. We've seen them before, but they didn't hold up to scrutiny. For example, NASA's EagleWorks team, though they had found a way to make the M drive work in 2016, but later studies showed it didn't actually work. Therefore, before we get too excited about Buller's claims, we need to see rigorous testing and verification from multiple sources. It's possible that Buller's team discovered something new, but it's unlikely, so let's call it an improbable engine for now. Whenever the topics of anti-gravity and thrusters come up, I always go watch the video of Bob Lazar, the core secret. Bob Lazar saying the technology he worked on operates based on completely different types of physics than what we are familiar with. Normally, all our vehicles or crafts, whether planes, jets, or rockets, move by pushing something out the back, creating an action and pushes the vehicle forward, but the craft he worked on does not work that way. Instead, it uses something called field propulsion, which bends space-time in front of it, causing the craft to move forward without any traditional thrust. Do you think we already have this anti-gravity technology? And this is on Hows and Whys by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.